studios in New York City. This is Charlie Rose.
This year marks the 10th year anniversary of the Shawshank Redemption, a film that was nominated for 7 Academy Awards. Since that time, the film has seeped into our culture and our hearts. It is one of the most memorable stories in home video history. It found its audience through television, video, and laserdisc. Within 5 years, the movie became a phenomenon. With me today is the director, Frank Darabont, and 2 of the film stars, Morgan Freeman and Tim Robbins. I am pleased to have them here. Welcome.
Thank you so much, sir.
Since I've seen you, you have learned to fly.
I've learned to fly.
Since I've seen you, you've won another Academy Award.
My first.
Your first.
Yeah.
Well, and how about you, Frank?
I've been, I don't know.
Should have been the second.
Getting
Should have
grayer.
been your second. The first should have been for Andy, right?
Yep.
Well, then was
Thank
that?
you, Morgan.
Well, I got nominated, and I was certainly there with you.
And you should have won as well.
Well,
But 7, you won 7.
But we nominated.
No.
Nominated for
No,
7.
we were
No,
nominated
nominated
for
for 7, I'm
seven,
sorry.
We won none.
We won
won
not a
none.
stinking one.
no.
Well, it was the year of Gump.
Yeah, but at the same time, I mean, this film, more than any film probably since then, has gone on to have this kind of mystique, success in the DVD market and everywhere else. Now it's going to be reissued
Yes.
as a DVD.
And theatrically as
And
well.
theatrically as
Prior to
well
that.
in
All
September.
right, all right. Yeah. We're here
Yes.
just going to get a new theatrical release.
Yes.
Wow. See what happens there.
Pretty cool.
Right. So I want to explore this phenomenon first with you. Take me through a Stephen King novella to a script.
That was a process of actually beginning about 5 years before we shot the movie, of getting the rights from Steve King. I had done a short film based on one of his short stories, so he knew me and knew of my work, so I asked him for the rights to this. I think he was intrigued because it seemed so unlikely a movie that he actually said yes. It took about 5 years to get around to it, but then I sat down and wrote the script, 8 weeks flat, took it straight to Castle Rock. They read it, took it to them because of Rob Reiner, really, and because of Stand By Me, which was also a Stephen King story, and a very delicate material. I figured if anybody got Shawshank, it would have to be them. And they did, and I had just nothing but wonderful support from them from that moment on.
So this was a movie easy to sell once you had a script.
Yes, with Castle Rock out there, absolutely. And thank God for them, really, because it might have been easy to sell to another studio, but then who knows exactly through the development process, what might have wound up on screen. Castle Rock left it alone and let it happen, which is rare.
How is the movie, in terms of script, different from the story that Stephen King? For example, Red is an Irish, what else?
He's a white Irish guy.
White Irish guy.
Hey, wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
He didn't say he was white Irish. It could have been black Irish.
Could have been black.
Absolutely.
Some parts were enhanced.
Yes.
You killed off some characters that weren't killed off by.
Yes, indeed. The Gil Bellows character, the young Tommy
Right.
character, was not, gotten rid of quite so dramatically as in the film. But these are the screws that you tighten, really, when you adapt a script. The James Whitmore character didn't actually exist in the Steve King story.
It became a big thing.
It became actually the narrative, the thematic spine, I think, to the narrative was the James Whitmore character, really to be illustrative of the theme and what these guys, the equation these guys were balancing.
The Andy character,
Yeah.
pretty much what it was.
Yes, very close, very close. Although Steve King did describe him as a little guy.
Yeah. Is that it? No 6'5" right here.
No, no. Little guy, white guy. I totally, went opposite.
Now, the
on both
idea
counts.
to have the narration from Red,
Yeah.
was that there?
That was very much a function of the voice that Steve King used to tell the story. It was a first-person narrative. In a sense, the story was narrated by Red, and that voice was so strong and so present in his story that I really couldn't imagine the movie without it. So when I adapted the script, I followed that as my path, and then luckily we had this man's voice.
Exactly. We'll get to that later.
Yeah,
More about
exactly.
that later. So
Yeah.
casting. So you know your script, you know your narration, you know what you want to do with this film.
Yeah.
You go to him and
Yeah.
you send him a script.
Yeah.
He's your first cast.
Yeah.
You saw the script. Mm-hmm. Liked it.
Loved it. They just sent me the script, and so
They didn't say the job is yours. They said read this.
yeah, read this, and I read it. My agent had sent it to me, and I said, "Oh, this is fabulous." And I said, "Okay, who they want me to play?" He said, "Red." I said, "You're kidding." I said, "Oh, that's the part."
Now, why did you
I
say
never knew that.
you're kidding?
That's the whole shebang. That's the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, that.
So why is
that
Morgan Freeman?
drives the whole thing. It sets the tone for it.
Yeah, it's his integrity
establishes-
that is the core of this movie.
Well, it's yeah.
Yeah, Frank, am I right or not?
Absolutely, yeah.
So why were you surprised they wanted you to play that character, or were
I'm
you?
always surprised when they give me a good role. I'm always surprised.
Even
It's just-
today, huh?
Even today, yeah. You know, it's just.
And when you see one, you just say,
yeah,
you just hug it and
you
say,
just- yeah, I'll do it. Yes.
And so you get the script.
Yes.
Is this as good a script as you've seen? I mean, is this a script that comes along once every generation, or once every decade,
I
or
would
once
say
every
this
something?
is probably the best script I've ever read.
I take credit. I take credit.
For what? Bringing him in. You were his idea? He was your idea?
Was he?
What?
Yeah.
I'd heard this before. Nick.
I didn't know that.
They said.
You didn't know that until right now?
You might have told me.
Or you might have forgotten it.
Well,
Because
he said stuff like that. He's taught me everything I know about acting too. So I never know when to take him seriously. But
No, but they did. They, you know, we caucused and we were and they said, well, so who do you want to play Andy? And they gave me a list of names. I said, that one. Excellent. I said,
You did?
yeah.
In other words, he was on the list of names, and you said, this is the guy. And why did you think Robbins was right for Andy?
Because he's right for just about
Everything.
anything. Yeah, he's
Right.
really
I mean,
and
Mystic Rivers is very far from Andy as you can get, I guess.
yeah, and you know they were just actors who you want to do certain things with, and he's the guy.
Now, is this the way you operate? You show your lead here a list of people that might be associated with him, whatever the largeness or the smallness of the role is, and say, tell me how you feel about this?
I solicit ideas from everybody around me, and certainly asking the actors who are already committed who else they might have in mind is never
These
a
are
bad
the people
idea.
we're thinking about. That's what
Yeah.
these are the people
Yeah.
we're thinking about.
Absolutely.
Which one of these would you
But
feel comfortable
the same
with?
would have been true had Tim been cast first.
First.
I'm
You would've
sure
said
we would
who?
have gone through the same process, not just as a courtesy, but
No,
hey,
it's
what do you
part of
think?
it.
Now,
Who's-
suppose Morgan's
where
name
do you
didn't
think
fit on the list. Would you have chosen him?
oh, absolutely.
He better not say anything now. Yeah.
What did I tell you when I first met you?
No.
Yeah, electric company, baby.
And how many years have you been hearing that?
See, all my life, I don't-
But it was really seriously just the script. There's no. You probably wouldn't have had any problem with other studios because the script is just it's a blueprint for great script writing. It's
Yeah.
really if you're studying script writing, it's the one.
Okay,
to
but
read.
tell me what that means. I mean, it means the characters and what they say.
It all
And
rolls off the page. The descriptions are great. The visual, your idea that you get of what it is visually, you get the tone in the writing, you get the character development. There's all the right things are left out, which is a hard thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the subtext that some writers have a tendency to want to put in there, just lays back on it. You know, each of these characters has secrets and that you want to know about, and you don't know what the real thing is. You don't know if this guy's guilty or not. You don't know what my secret is for the whole thing. So there's all these little things in it that added up to just a tremendous script.
And it moves. It just moves. You know, covers what 20 years,
20 years, yeah.
and you can tell that amount of time is going. That it's not like, oh well, just a minute ago there was so and so. You know, I mean it has the arc is clear,
Does this also mean that an actor can really do his, not only you're given the page, but then you can do what you bring best, which is surprise, creativity to the part?
Yeah, I think when you read a script like this, each page is painting you.
Yeah.
You know, is filling you in. All of the dots are being connected for you. And it's what makes acting a joy when you get to do it. You get a script that says, it's all already there. We don't have to go and sit and say, okay, how are we going to get this across? Because it's done. It's
Tell me
done.
about your
You know that intuitively. You know? Tell you what?
Tell me about your character.
Red?
Yeah.
He's, I thought he sort of Red as a guy who just took life as it came. He made one serious error. He married the wrong woman. Because whatever she did, she pushed him all the way to the brink of himself. And he stepped over the line, saw it. They sentenced him to life in prison, and he said, that's, okay, that's it, that's what it is.
I'll deal with it.
I'll deal with it. So, of course, you always want to get out when you're in. If you have a parole possibility, you know, you try it. I love the moments when he was before the parole board.
Those are my favorite moments of your acting in any movies. Those three scenes that are the
progression of
those
appearances
years.
before the parole board.
Before the parole board, yeah. Those three scenes, I think, are as good as it gets. I just love what Morgan did in those scenes.
What was it he did?
He described the trajectory of this character, of this man's life, so beautifully, and in doing so, also described the trajectory of the movie's theme so beautifully. To get to that, especially that last scene where he comes to this complete and utter acceptance, just completely owning who he is, what he has done, and what this whole experience has been, inspired by the example of this man's character, and just all the BS is gone, and it's
this
so
man's character
beautifully.
leads him to the final parole hearing.
Yeah.
And he can do what he did and say what he said.
Yes, exactly.
What's the theme of this movie? You said this reflects the theme.
That's
work on it.
Yeah, we're working on it, baby. I'm still trying to figure it out.
You've had this question before.
Well, so I think that the best movies really leave that for. And this is not the cop out on the question, but I think the ones that I love the best are the ones that let the audience bring that answer to the table. Ultimately, it's what does the movie mean, not to me or to us, but to you and to the people who've seen it. And that's really fascinating because we've gotten some amazing reaction. I'm sure you guys have as well. Yeah. Some amazing reactions through the years. The film seems to be something of a Rorschach for people. They project their own lives, their own difficulties, their own obstacles, and their own triumphs into it, whether that's a disastrous marriage or a serious debilitating illness that somebody's trying to overcome. They view the bars of Shawshank as a metaphor for their own difficulties and then consequently their own hopes and triumphs. And people really do draw strength from the movie for that reason.
Yeah, Robbins, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say one of the lessons of the movie is that you can't overcome adversity.
You can.
You can. You can.
And it starts inside yourself.
It starts with, and that's the catalyst for that.
And he's the catalyst for that, because what happens to him? You give me this sort of who is Andy, and how does he overcome?
Andy is probably the only innocent person in Shawshank. Everyone says they are, but he is there, shouldn't be there, but finds a way to survive. And the way he finds a way to survive is through a very slow trajectory. A 20-year plan that